Wow. Riley's Power Sports.
Welcome to Riley's Power Sports. Check out these bikes. You're not going to believe this. See this? Authentic carbon fiber.
Wow.
Okay. 100th anniversary is Gixxer 6.
Wow, 100 of them.
ZX14. 191 horsepower to the rear wheel.
Wow, it's fast.
Hold on tight. Aprilia RS 660. Okay. You're gonna wanna really hear this, okay? 5 rider modes.
Wow.
Quick shifter, engine maps, ABS, traction, wheelie, engine braking, and cruise control.
Wow. It's like a 1000.
Advanced.
But not.
But cooler.
Yeah, but cooler because it's smaller.
Yeah, come on down. We got 650, okay? A 2022. These are torquey little suckers. 2 cylinders. 47 pounds, foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
Yeah. And then if you're in the market for a real motorcycle, we do have a few right over there.
Oh, thank goodness.
So a little something for everybody, okay? Now let's come on inside and pick up the rest.
I like how it stayed running for a second and then it's like, I think something's wrong. It killed itself. So it took the tip sensor just a little bit. It was like, wait a minute. This is my time to shine. Something is wrong. Kill the bike.
Alright, so we got some more bikes in here, okay? Listen up. Ninja 300s. We got 2 of them. You can basically pick your color. Alright.
Ooh.
These are real efficient for around town getting to work. 70 miles to the gallon. So,
wow.
Talk about saving money. You can go ahead and just sell your car on Craigslist and pick up one of these.
That's better than a Prius.
No time. All right.
Sick.
Another thing we got is actually pretty unique. Is a
Ooh.
800 interceptor.
Ooh.
Intercepting all the girls on this thing because this thing is sexy. Look at that single-sided swing on
Ooh.
it. All right, that's pretty cool. 151 mile an hour top speed. So
Wow.
Don't take its heaviness.
Intercept the girls even if they're running from you.
Oh yeah, you catch it. Has a KTM over here, Bluetooth to your phone, so you can look at the screen and get distracted and crash and die. KTM really outdid themselves, put a lot of effort into it. So
Wow.
yeah, a couple other 600s. Take your pick, man. They're all so good. You know, it comes down to personal preference. I feel like a kid.
Thank you, Riley, for sponsoring this video.
End of the video, if I see you end up wheeling it, I'll be proud.
I don't know about that. Khalil's like, I'll be impressed if you can wheelie it by the end of the video. Like, man, I ain't gonna wheelie this freaking thing. This thing's a dang grizzly bear. I say that, I might wheelie it. I mean, right now I need some gas. So this is a V4 in this thing, right? It's kind of cool. Anyway, if that guy had enough exhaust tips. It's about out of gas, so I gotta put some gas in it, and then I guess we'll go out and rip it a little bit, see what it'll do. Claimed Honda says this thing can do 153, so it's pretty fast. It feels pretty arrowy, and it's a heavy, but it's kind of like a Busa ZX14 kind of heavy feeling, but it feels less long, feels like a 1000 lengthwise. So this is a bike that's going to be on the dealer's or on Riley's floor that's like cheaper, you know. It's going to be like a cheap bike, right? The last one we had one of these, it was a BMW that I rode. The one where I made a video where I didn't break any laws, that Beamer. This is kind of the same genre, only difference is this is 800 V4 and that was an 800 2-cylinder. So this should have, why is the blinker on? Stop that. This should have quite a bit more power. But overall it's the same basic idea of a bike. It's like a comfy yet go fast bike. So we're about to find out though, boys. Whoa! I tried a MotoGP shift. Woo! It should actually come up first right there for a second, boys. Did y'all see that? definitely a little faster than the Beamer. It's kind of got that low end grunt of like the R1s with the crossplane motor. Because even though the crossplane motor is inline 4, it still sounds more like a V4 motor, which is what this is. Whoa! Wait, what do you? Poncho, make up your mind. What the? What's going on here? Dang, they got a ton of crap. Let's test this foot brake out. Okay, you have to like literally smash down on it to make it lock up, but it's there. Enough. Well, it's a big gal to be doing this. Yeah, with a little time, you could definitely wheelie this thing around. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, you could definitely sit around wheelie this thing. First gear for sure. Let's see what second gear does if you clutch it. Oh, hold on now. Horse torques. Yeah. It comes up for second, but it just doesn't have the power to pull up all this weight. I don't know how heavy this thing is, but I'm sure it's heavier. Brendan, look it up real quick. That's how heavy it is. But first gear, definitely wheelie it first. Oh! Nice blinker, dude. Did y'all see that blinker? Anyway, wait a minute. If I was a normal rider, I would be crying and talking about hitting his mirror or something. How dare he cut me off? Ah! Oh wait, I forgot. I'm the bray. I just adjusted, didn't run into him, called it a day. Alright, brays. That's pretty quick. Let's see what it'll do out here on the highway, boys. Coming through, excuse me. Yeah, boys. Yeah. It can bob and weave a little bit. It's nothing crazy. And its brakes they're not like cranes, but they stop. Come on, V4, let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's very manageable speed. It's not going to get away from you. We're trying to pin around, boys. Honda said it do 150. I want to see 150. Oh! Oh, there's 130 for a second. Hold on, friends. We bobbing and weaving now, boys. We got the tank. Come on! Yeah! Come on, Honda! I almost said 150. And that was like, that was top of 5th. Then you shift to 6, so it might actually, true speed, be able to do 150. That's pretty cool. I kind of like this thing. I could definitely be killing the streets with it. First gear wheelies all day. Sit here and fucking. What a weird sounding motor. It doesn't like sound like a V4 to me when it revs out. Not like, maybe if it had exhaust it'd be different, but just the motor noise I'm hearing, I don't know. by the way, Brad, I know somebody who went and bought a motorcycle from a dealership that's not Riley's, okay? And me and Riley have been doing this thing where we're trying to inspect other dealerships to see what they do and where they're lacking, you know, or if they're doing something we're not and we should be doing it type things, you know? Trying to make ourselves better, right? Anyway, this dealership that sold my friend, unknown friend, a bike, sold him a bike, and the bike broke down on the way home. I went and helped Zed friend, and all it was the freaking battery terminal positive was loose. They didn't even check the goddamn battery terminal. And then the sales guy told me, when I asked him, I was like, do y'all have like a check sheet? Like to go through and make sure, you know, XYZ is good on the bike? And he goes, yeah, we do, but you know, it's just a cheap bike. It don't cost a whole lot. I'm like, well, cheap or not, the bolt didn't just magically come loose after y'all tightened it down. A battery terminal bolt is not just going to magically come loose after you tighten it. Y'all didn't tighten it, which means you didn't check it. You didn't even check the battery cables. What else did you not check on this thing? There's so many. You're selling a sports bike. I won't say what kind of sports bike. It was a sports bike though. I'll say, oh yeah, well, it was a 600cc plus sports bike. So it's a real deal bike, a fast bike, a bike that can get you killed if something just falls off, like an oil filter, like the bolts on the wheels, right? The rear bolt, right? And then there's like these two locking bolts that are on the front, your rotor bolts. There's like all these bolts that you should check, which we check over at Riley's Power Sports. And anyway, yeah, so now I gotta go through this bike for my friend to make sure it's all solid after they didn't even bother tightening down the freaking battery terminal. Which, I mean, they didn't bother tightening it down. They never looked. They never opened it up to even see if the battery terminal was tight. They started it, rode it down the street, put it in the dealership floor, sprayed some Windex on it, and said, yeah, it's clean, it's ready to sell. So just remember that, Brad. Some other dealers do not even bother checking the bare necessities of a motorcycle, and then they sell it to you, and it's a race bike. Like, these things are made to go fast and do dangerous stuff on. And so when me and Riley's whole thing, which, you know, with me as well, right, is we test these things at speed, real speed, you know, low key, we're riding them, and making sure nothing goes wrong. So when you buy it, you should have way more confidence in one of Riley's bikes being a 600, 1000, 750, whatever, knowing that one of us rode it and everything has been gone through. All the bolts have been checked, every little knick-knack has been gone through. Granted, there's still a used motorcycle. Something still might break later because it's a used motorcycle. But it did get run hard once to know that it's good, at least. It's just super necessary. It's just, they're race bikes. Like, you can't just sell a race bike and send it out the door and you didn't check anything. Which is what this other dealer did. Just pissed me off because it's dumb. Like, now I gotta go make sure nothing else is loose and gonna just fall off, because that could end someone's life. Certain things coming loose, oil filters and bolts on the wheels, calipers, the bolts around the neck, your handlebar, these bolts right here that are, you know, the clip-ons are tightened down so the clip-on don't move. Just all this stuff could possibly come loose, and you gotta check it all. And some dealers don't. They just buy a bike from the auction, slap a price on it, clean it a little bit. So just know that, friends. Just know that. Anyway, back to riding this thing, but yeah, I kind of like this thing. I don't know. I don't dislike bikes that are not fast and not really built to go super fast, but yet still can somewhat do it all. This bike can turn decent, it stops pretty decent, and it goes pretty fast. It's just not the most attractive bike, and it has radiators on the side, which is just so weird looking. 2 radiators on both sides of this thing, but for what it is, it's nice. Oh. Although the Beamer had hand warmers, this doesn't have hand warmers, and I wish it did because it's kind of cold. Woo! It's got like, once it gets to like 7.5 or 8, it's like it finally has enough RPM to really push through the mufflers, and it just lights up. I feel like if it had exhaust, it'd be a little bit easier to ring up. Woo-hoo! Woo! She was spinning, boy. Yeah! She got some horse torques, boys. Whipping this big girl.